Hi friends, and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. I'm your host Heather, and we do crafty things here. So welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not new. We are once again making more bags for the upcoming Rhinebeck West show that we're doing at the Knitting Tree LA. So it's October 18th and 19th if you can join us. And yeah, we're just running through all the smaller bags with all of our scraps. We just finished making all of the pyramid pouches. I have to find somewhere to put these all. That's the first order of this week, is kind of organizing my Tupperware bins, and we got to stuff these with some craft paper to keep their shape, and hoping to put those in a big giant bag to take with me because they don't fit in the bin very well. They just take up so much space. But this week we are working on the pencil pouches. So this is the Noodlehead pencil pouch pattern by Noodlehead. So really good patterns, and she's got a full tutorial for this as well. They're super cute, especially if you do that kind of accent denim. We'll be doing a few denim, and then we'll be doing a few with the accent fabric. Because I don't know how much fabric we have left for the lining, we might be using denim on a lot of these. I'm not sure. So basically, I call these notions pouches for our knitting and crochet shows, and I call them pencil pouches when we just do like a regular craft fair. And we have this big stack of fabric. So last week I sorted all the fabrics into different piles so that I don't have the same thing in every single shape and size. So these are the ones we are going to make pencil pouches out of. And if we still have enough fabric left, we might move this to the coin purse pile as well. Not sure. So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've only got about 7 of these. I'll have to go through when we're organizing the Tupperware and see how much we have left over from the last show. I think we still have some left over from the last show, so we'll count those up and see. I don't think we're going to need more than 7 of these bags. They're not the best sellers. The best sellers are the coin purses. So we should definitely, with the kitties and the piggies and the coin purses, I think I'd rather focus on making more of those. But it's always good to have the notions pouches as well. I am feeling rested after the long weekend. So I didn't get any good footage last week of the first week of school. I was running around in firefighter mode trying to put out all the fires. And then by the time I did go up to the 3rd floor, I was going to film the quad with lots of students running around. And there weren't very many students running around by the time I was able to get up there. But I think we are having like a welcome back to school event this week. So I'll film some. If I get a nice shot, I'll put it in here. We just redid the inspiration board and the shelf with some fall goodies. So if you didn't see last week's video, pop back and watch that. We also have lots of new people here, so welcome. We've had a big jump in subscribers. On my main YouTube landing page, I have an About Me video, so if you're interested in that, I also have some playlists of some previous Vlogmases. And then in 2023, we did a whole year of bags. So they were all new patterns that I was trying out. So if you have a particular thing you're interested in, you could go back to the Year of Bags playlist and take a look at all the patterns we did that year and see if there's any that you're interested in making. If you want to watch the video, they're not tutorials, but it just kind of takes you through the process of making that bag, the challenges that I had, and then I give a review of the end of how good I thought the pattern was. Oh, and we have a finished object. This came together super fast. So this is the Misty Mountain Morning Mountains pattern. What's it called? This is the Mountain Morning Crochet Scarf from Fiberflex. She's got a full tutorial, and it's free on her blog if you want to do that. It came together really fast. In fact, maybe like a week or 2 of me doing it just at night. This is a beautiful yarn. It's a Karen Blossom Cake in Rose. So very nice. Since it's so wide, I didn't bother making it long enough to tie. I figure I'm just going to overlap it under a jacket or something. And since I liked it so much, and I have like over half a skein left, I'm gonna make the exact same scarf for a friend of mine for her birthday. We're both fall babies, so that will be nice. I figure I'll whip that up before I start any other larger projects. We still have our green sweater on the go. It's taking me quite a while. Yeah, I haven't really picked that up again, but after we do this, we'll focus back on the green sweater. I've got my Cleopatra cardigan at work. It hasn't been cold enough to put it on yet because I've been running around so much, but as soon as it gets cool enough, I will put that on and wear that as my work sweater. We're also taking a trip to M&L Fabrics this week. We're looking for some Christmas fabrics for the piggies and the kitties that we'll be working on next. So I'll take you with me when we do that. And yeah, any other little things we get up to. So if that sounds fun to you, go ahead and grab yourselves a water or a cool beverage, an ice cream cone, whatever you got handy. Get comfortable and let's start sewing. Okay, before I get started on anything else, we need to put all these pyramid pouches away. So I have a bunch of leftover packing tissue from, you know, Amazon packages and all the things we packed for the last show that I just recycled the paper. We folded it up, so we have all this paper left from the last time. So I'm just gonna scrunch it up. We're gonna stuff the pyramids so that they're not totally trashed. Oh no. Oh, I forgot. Did I put labels on them last time? I'm gonna have to look back through my video before we even touch these. I thought I put my labels on them last time. Or I put them inside. I don't know. Is it worth putting my labels on them? I think so. They're bigger. I tend not to put my labels on the coin purses or the piggies because they're so small, but these and the Notions pouches, I think I did put them on, but I think at this point I might have to put them inside. Oh, that's a whole extra project I wasn't counting on. Let me investigate and we'll come right back. I've now put all of the labels in the sock bags. I went ahead and put them on the inside because it was just way easier to do. And now we gotta clean all these up so we can make some room for our next project. And I was watching Kate at the last Homely House. She went to the quilt show and she interviewed this lady who did this sampler quilt. It was beautiful. So it's this whole book. I had to buy it. It's on Amazon, but it basically has all these different quilt blocks that you can make. I've always wanted to do a sampler, and then you kind of get an idea. And it might be nice to do like a little spring sampler. I've always wanted to do a maple leaf quilt, so it would be nice to try all these different blocks and get this beautiful quilt in the end. So there's another quilt idea, but that's on the back burner for now. Let's get these stuck. Ideally, I would only have 2 of these bins to put in my car. We also have these smaller bins that have all the stuff that I need to bring for the actual show. So it's kind of a challenge to get all of this in here. So I'm gonna go through my previous things and consolidate those as well. We're gonna pick out the things that are actual project bags as opposed to the other things. I think I'm gonna do this, all these upright. Now we don't wanna squish the bucket bags, but we can stuff those with all the smaller projects. So I'm gonna try and fit these in around the bucket bags. And then we're gonna go find all of our other smaller projects to go in the bucket bags. Hopefully fill those up. Okay, now I'm tired and sweaty. So this week we are gonna work on the noodle head pencil pouch. So it's a very cute pouch. It's got a box bottom and a zip across the top and two panels, and I've added a little finger loop to mine. I just packed them all away. I was gonna show you one, but I just packed them all away. Whew. So we've got these ready to go. So we're gonna figure out what we're doing with these guys. We've also got some denim. If we do want to do denim for the side, we might do that on some of them because I don't have a lot of the lining fabric left. So we are gonna do fusible fleece for the outside panels, but we're gonna cut it way shorter. So when I think I'll just print out new pattern pieces, and then I'll show you how I print the separate smaller pattern piece for the fusible fleece. So let's do that first. And I forgot to put away the pattern piece for the Atlantis. So this is how I store all of my patterns, if you haven't seen this before. And what I do is I also have all the pattern pieces that I've cut out in there. So the kitty pouch is gonna be next after this. We got the piggy, there's the Atlantis. So I cut out all my pieces and then I just clip them together, and then I put it in the back. I think I'll do this sideways here. In the back of the sleeve. And if there's more than one size, I'll cut out all the sizes and put them in there. Or I'll just cut out the size, let's be realistic, that I'm actually gonna make, because I generally don't cut out all the sizes. So what I like to do is I like to use this other little cutting mat when I cut my pattern pieces, because I don't want the X-Acto blade going deep into my fabric cutting mat. So I'll do that. I'll get our X-Acto blade. Wherever it went, there it is. And you just have to print it at 100%. There's this little test square that you can use your ruler to make sure it is an inch square. And then this is pretty easy because it is, because they're all clean edges, I can just use my X-Acto knife to cut everything. So we've got our little shorter accent piece, our big piece, and then our lining piece. And it's the lining piece that we're going to cut down to be our fusible fleece piece. This way, when we cut things off, it'll be even on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to cut, let's see, what size is that? It's basically up an inch and over an inch. Okay, let's do it. We are going to cut a 1/2 inch off of each side. Okay. We've got these boxed bottoms, and I guess I could just draw them on there, right? Yeah, let's just trace that on there. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it makes sense in my mind. Well, we'd want it, I think that makes sense because we want it that far in, but we still want the box bottom to be the right size, right? Does that make sense? I'm very spatially challenged. None of this ever makes sense to me. Where'd the pen go? I'm gonna mark this as the Fusible fleece piece. Fusible fleece times 2. Okay, so that should be good.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know.
And we have a fabric haul for you. So I was able to find some nice fabrics at M&L. Oh, first one was a project bag because I couldn't resist. I can't remember if I got this fabric last time I was there. I don't think I could find a match. And this time this was sitting right next to it. So I went ahead and bought this, but I'll have to see if I already have that fabric. And then I found some more fall fabrics that I thought would be fun. So we have this one. These are all the... I got a half yard of each except for the ones that were very small amounts, and I just took the rest of the piece. So this is one of those where I took the rest of the piece. And did I put these two together or these two together? I can't remember. I think it was these two and then these two, which means I'm going to round the pencil pouches up and make one more out of each of these fabrics. And then I'll probably do some kitties out of the leftovers. So you got that, and then we just got a bunch of Christmas fabric. I don't know if I paired these up with anything yet. This one was interesting. I don't know if I like it or not. It looks kind of cheap now that I'm looking at it, but it was like sweater fabric, and it was like the only real non like Christmas that I got.
In this dynamite
make the first batch of bags. So I'm gonna make a couple of these on camera with you, and you've seen it all before. So we are gonna put our thread bunny down. And we're gonna go ahead and top stitch our zipper. I'm gonna test the zipper. I'm gonna hold it up before I sew the other end down just to make sure that it's correct.
Every wall, it's a fragrant fire, falling in love, and the wolves stop howling, and have come back into its hole. I don't mind a reasonable amount of trouble, and we're so.
We're going to open up our zipper a little bit. We're going to get our lining out of the way. We're going to fold this up. I did check. I don't have the swivel hooks on these ones, just the other ones. And we're going to put it down here. It doesn't have to be exact. Just want it far enough out of the way. And then we're going to sew our bag together. So we just want to make sure that we're lining these bottom pieces up, that we're pushing the zipper towards the lining, and that these ends are lining up. So I'm just going to put a few clips in here to be a little bit more precise.
Together this time around, and the way I feel tonight will soon.
And then I'm going to angle in for the lining and make the lining a little bit snugger than the exterior. So we're just going to go a little bit over 3/8. Same on the other side. Now the only problem with angling it in like that is that we don't have much of a boxed corner anymore. That's okay. We're going to go across the bottom. And then this is such a small bag, I'm not really going to worry about reinforcing anything or double stitching anything, but we do want this to kind of meet up. So we want to take some care on that meets up. And we managed to keep our fusible fleece out of the seam. You can't really see that, but it's out of the seam, so that's good. And then I gotta see how big of an opening we're leaving in the lining. And we are leaving a 4-inch opening in the lining. So not that big. Just gonna center that. And then this is gonna be a little over that 3/8 as well. And the hardest part about this now is boxing the corners. I would even leave a bigger opening than that. So we are going to pull through, we're gonna open the zipper all the way. And then we are just going to do what we normally do and nest these seams in the corner and put a clip there. And then these are just going to be opposite. So like we've talked about in the past, we want to have that center seam flat. So then this one needs to nest the other direction. Pull those in tight, so that your bottom seam is flat. So that's how we want that. So I'm just going to sew these down at 3/8 as well. And you want to pull those tight so that they're flat. Back stitch front and back there at the beginning and the end. And I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of a light thread, but the stitches are very close to each other. So that's how we want that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And on this side, we want this seam to lay flat. So we'll do the opposite on that.
Was so glad you came. Had we met before, laugh innocently, but
Bob's your uncle. That's all done. So see how that just lays in there a little bit flatter, like it hugs the exterior. It's nice and flat because we just sewed it that much tighter than the exterior. And we've got our pretty bag. So we can press this so that this is flatter. And then I think the label's in a good spot. This does kind of curve around because of the box bottom, so I might want to have that just the teensiest bit higher because it's kind of on that curve. So maybe if we put it 1.5 inches up from the bottom, so I'll make a note of that so we can do that for the rest of them, but yay! So I will just montage the rest of them for you. Okay, it's time to say goodbye to the pink and hello to this intense dark red. I have to go darker to cover up the pink, otherwise you'll see the pink through there. So we start with the dark red and I'll go to more of a penny red later. Okay friends, so that's it for this week. We have gone back to red, which has really turned out more brown than red, I think because it had the pink in it. So next time it'll be more of a coppery red, but this is fine. This is giving me all the fall vibes along with my pumpkin earrings. So let's take a look at our finished bags. We have 10 in total. So we got the ones with the denim. I love the ones with the new fabrics, they're so pretty. And then we've got our Hogwarts and our teacups, more denim, our Woodland Friends, if it'll focus, our other Hogwarts, which I'm kind of annoyed at myself. I should have fussy cut out the fabric to go with the Ravenclaw. Instead, it's like Slytherin's front and center. So I wish I hadn't done that. And then this one's beautiful. I love this fabric. Focus. Focus. There we go. Very pretty. And we have mostly our heart pulls. So that's nice. And that's it. We're getting there. I reorganized all the bins. So I think I'm going to be able to fit everything in 2 of the large bins. We're going to have to do a load in of my car and see what happens. I also don't know if the show is happening or, you know, it's all in my head. I haven't heard anything. I'm going to reach out to the shop this week and find out what's going on because the big protest is going to be that day and I don't know that they want to have their event on the same day. So they might be thinking of moving it to the weekend before, after, or not doing it this year. I'm assuming they would still want to do it even if it didn't line up with Rhinebeck. But we shall find out. I will keep you posted on that. We've also refilled the fish tank. I'm processing it right now, cranking up the heat to kill off anything. I don't know if that was the reason they died or what, but that's always a risk when you bring new fish into the tank. I don't have an extra tank that I can use as a quarantine tank for 2 weeks, so it's kind of always a gamble when I bring new fish into the tank. But we'll do that for like a week. By the end of the week, bring the temperature back down and hopefully go get some fish that aren't going to kill each other. I can't deal with another homicidal maniac in the tank. I just feel really bad for them all. So that's it. We're working on our green sweater, making progress on that. And I decided to make another exact same shawl, scarf as the one I made before, with the mountain morning scarf pattern from Fiberflex. So I'm working on that as well, hoping to have that done. I don't see my friend until after the show, so I've got a while. And worst case scenario, I give her the one that's already finished and I finish the other one for myself because they're going to be exactly the same. Yeah, So I think that's it. Thank you for joining me this week. I love it when you come and spend time with me. We are at 1950 subscribers. Yay! So hopefully we will hit 2,000 pretty soon. And then after the show, I can make our special giveaway bag. So that will be fun. Trying to think, I would like to experiment with all of those 2-inch squares that I have left over and 3-inch squares and make kind of like a patchwork, maybe a tote bag would be fun. That way, if you don't crochet or knit, it's not a project bag. It's something you can use for anything. So that will be fun, and try and get like some rainbow. If you watch the Stitchery, she does patchwork dresses every once in a while, and she just finished one with a bunch of little squares that I was thinking, oh, that would be me, except on a lot smaller scale because she made a huge dress. So yeah, looking forward to laying out the colors and getting a cool pattern effect, color effect on that. So look forward to doing that with you after the show. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead and hope to see you back here next week. Love you, friends. Bye.